A good one as we welcome you back to the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. First round matchup of these ACCs at 165. Ben Anderson of Duke, he's been on fire. An NCAA qualifier from a year ago. Jake Wentzel of Pitt, ranked 14th and seeded 4th. Last time we saw Ben Anderson, he was struggling a little bit in mid-February, but he has since turned his fortunes around. He has won 4 of his last 5. He's coming off a win against Cam Coy, in which he pinned the Cavalier. Pound for pound at this weight class, if you just look at sheer strength, Anderson will be right up there. And this is a young man who got hot at the right time last year, trying to follow that same recipe to Minneapolis this season.
When you go to postseason, everybody is 0-0. You can throw out all what happened during the early part of the season. Everybody's on equal playing field. Little half shot there by Anderson. He's got to commit. He got to the leg. He just didn't use the right hand to lock up.
Take us through the morning hours for these teams as they prepare for these first matches as far as the weigh-in go. And now here's a trip and a 2 for Wentzel, who fires the opening salvo.
That is typical of Wentzel. He does double underhooks, and once he gets double underhooks, he does a couple things. Either he does for a bear hug, a throw by, but that situation, he tripped. It's exactly his style.
Wentzel trying to trap the arm. Anderson's able to clear his right arm out of harm's way. Has a leg in, goes right back to that upper half, and Anderson's able to scoot and clear, and he's on the board. But going back to the weigh-ins this morning, take us through the time frame for these athletes.
Well, right there, he went back to the double underhooks and just stepped through and tripped. But to talk about the weigh-ins, you never know how a cut is going to be. When we talk about a cut, we're talking about losing weight. That's a vernacular in the wrestling world for losing weight. They say cut. And depending on how the cut happens will determine how you perform. Now, when you have a tournament, you have a 2-hour period of recovery before you can start. In the dual meet season, you only have 1 hour. So generally, these guys should be in better shape because they have 2 hours for their body to recover.
And for the top 2 seeds, they have an even longer time to recover. In fact, some of those guys will head back to the hotels, get a nap in, and then come back refreshed, because you're looking at a 4-hour window to come back rejuvenated following the weigh-ins early on this Sunday morning.
And that is essentially the coach's responsibility, to know your guys, to know what works for them.
Anderson unable to ride. 3-1. Jake Wentzel with the lead. We're going to go to our 2-box view. Let's swing over to 157, one of the crowd favorites, Romani of Pitt. And this is what he does. He puts his opponent in a lot of odd, precarious situations, and he has Carter of Duke in a world of hurt right now. And he quickly switches, and he's in a position to get a fall for the Panthers. Very dangerous wrestler in Talib Romani. And Carter's able to get back to his base. That is Romani. We have had so much fun watching him throughout his career because you just don't know what to expect.
There's the underhooks again. Underhooks by Jake Wentzel. There it is. Jake Wentzel went right back to the underhooks. And this time he was going for a throw as opposed to a trip.
So we dial back in on Wentzel Anderson. We'll keep an eye on Romani. He's out to a comfortable 6-0 lead as they wrap up the first period.
Ben Anderson, a few times he's had shots, but he's kind of just tapped the knee and not really committed. And because of that, Jake Wentzel is just going back to his underhooks where he's very, very comfortable.
It has been a successful comeback year for Wentzel, who tore his ACL last year. He was 9-6 when he tore his ACL February of last year. So here we are, a little more than a year out, removed from surgery. And he has competed at a high level all season for Coach Gavin. Scramble situation. The two wrestlers roll through. Short time wrestling, closing out this second period. And it will stay 3-1. No points awarded.
He finally committed to that high C or that high crotch. And once he committed to it, He was in there, got a little roll around, but didn't get the takedown.
Keith Gavin, year number 3 for the Pitt Panthers. What a job he has done. He's turned the program dual meet record around. They went 4-11 in 2018 in his first year to 13-3 last year.
That was a really nice series what he did there. Jake Wentzel was putting pressure on the shoulders and the neck of Ben Anderson. And Ben Anderson was in a sit-out position, and immediately Wentzel put the right leg in.
Turn that leg down. Now build. Now be ready to build.
Hey, right elbow in, no leg in. Right elbow. Run it out. Put your hips out then.
As you watch Pitt wrestle throughout the course of the season, I think this is a team that has taken the identity of their coach. Keith Gavin, no-nonsense approach, a man of few words. He wrestled for Pitt, won a national championship with the Panthers, and that was back in the non-ACC days, yet he knows Pittsburgh wrestling, and it is a grinding style for the Panthers, and they wear you out. They just keep coming at you, and this team has exemplified that. Wentzel has been one of those guys. Wentzel with a 3-1 lead, plus mounting some serious riding time. This is where the strength of Anderson might come into play. Let's see if he can pop out of this. Those legs squeeze him pretty tight, but Anderson has that strength to do it.
Wentzel was really, really patient there. A lot of wrestlers might have panicked when he said, it looks like I'm in almost a defensive fall scenario, but Wentzel just patiently waited, like you said before, Sean, taking the personality of their head coach, who's just very calm.
And all of a sudden, he has ballooned this out to a huge lead. He has the riding time. He'll get the 4 near fall. And in a span of moments, side by side, the Pitt Panthers pick up a couple of wins. Romani secures a fall for Pitt, while his teammate Wentzel ends up with an 8-1 decision against an NCAA qualifier in Ben Anderson. And Wentzel showed me something in these closing moments of the third period. That's a strong man that he was able to keep underneath and turn for points.
And not just that, he started out on top and ended the period on top. Got the back points there. Looked like he was in danger a few times of giving up a defensive fall. But again, just patiently knowing his position, knowing where he is, and came up with